Joshua chapter 6. The inhabitants of Jericho had closed the city and had fastened their bolts so that the Israelites could not enter. Now, Jericho was in a state of siege because of the presence of the Israelites, so that no one came in and no one went out. But the Lord said to Joshua, I will give you the city, its king, and all its men of war. For this, all your warriors shall have to go around the city once every day for 6 days. 7 priests shall go before the ark bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns. On the 7th day they shall march around the city 7 times, and the priests shall blow their trumpets. And at that long blast of the ram's horns, all the people shall come up to attack, shouting their battle cry. At that moment, the walls of the city will fall, and everyone shall enter straight ahead of him. Joshua, son of Nun, called the priests and said to them, You shall carry the ark of the covenant. 7 priests shall go ahead with the trumpets of ram's horns. Then Joshua said to the people, You shall march around the city, and the vanguard of the army shall go before the ark of the Lord. When Joshua finished speaking, the priests began to blow the 7 trumpets of ram's horns, and they went before the ark of the Lord. The vanguard of the army went before the priests who blew the trumpets, and the rest of the people came after the ark. The trumpets blew continually. Joshua had given the people this order: Do not shout or utter anything, nor let even a single word be heard, until the day comes when I tell you to shout. Then you shall shout. He had the ark of the Lord carried around the city once. Then all returned to the camp where they spent the night. On the following day, Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priests took the ark, and those who blew the 7 trumpets again went before the ark. The vanguard of the army went before them, and the rest followed the ark while the trumpets blew. On this second day, and for next 6 days, they marched once a day around the city, and then returned to the camp. On the 7th day, the Israelites rose early at dawn and marched around Jericho in the same way as on the previous days. But on that day, they did it 7 times. At the 7th time, as the priests blew the trumpets, Joshua cried out to the people, Now shout! The Lord has given you the city. The city and all that is in it shall be devoted to the Lord under the solemn ban. Everything in it belongs to the Lord. Only Rahab the prostitute and all who are with her in her house shall live, since she hid the spies we sent. But for your part, be careful not to take anything that is placed under the solemn ban. Do not take anything for yourself, lest the curse be upon the camp of Israel and bring trouble upon it. All the gold, silver, and everything made of bronze and iron are to be consecrated to the Lord, and shall go into the treasury of the Lord. So they shouted and blew the trumpets. When they heard the sound of the trumpets, the people raised a great war cry, and the walls came tumbling down. They seized Jericho, and with sword in hand, they enforced the solemn ban by killing all the men and women, both young and old, as well as the oxen, sheep, and asses. Then Joshua directed the 2 men who had spied out the land, Go into the house of the prostitute and bring her out with all her family as you had sworn to her. These young men then brought out the woman named Rahab, her father, her mother, her brothers and sisters, with all her relatives to safety outside the camp of Israel. Afterwards, they burned the city and all that was in it. They saved only the silver, gold, and the vessels of bronze and iron, which they put with the precious things in the treasury of the Lord. Joshua saved the prostitute and all her family, and she lived in Israel, because she had hidden the spies sent by Joshua. Joshua asked the people, to make this oath, "May the Lord curse anyone who rebuilds Jericho. May its foundation rise on the body of his eldest son, and its gates on that of his youngest son." So the Lord was with Joshua and made him famous in all the land.